2024 work sessions. A, Sports Visitation and Entertainment Annual Update. Mr. Poma.
One's hard to follow. Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board, Dr. Casey, Mr. Minks, it's an honor. Can't believe it's been a year since our department's kind of first annual update, but here we are in what's been a whirlwind of a year. I'm appreciative for your enthusiasm as we've really gotten this up and going. In that same vein, I'd like to thank Mr. Harris, who's here as well, who's been a huge advocate and support as we get this department understanding the ins and outs of the funding structure and how all of this in the future is going to take shape. But before we begin, last year we introduced my team, and this year I don't think they need any introduction because they've been in front of you on many occasions talking about the great quality of life initiatives that we're able to be a part of. But I'd like to introduce, start left to right, Mr. Matt Mullen, who's our Operations and Sales Relations Manager, Miss Liz Hart, who is our marketing guru, and then it's great to have Katie Hardell back today. I think Baby might be downstairs. So Baby is here as Katie joins us to be a part of this great celebration. So thank you all for what you do. Over the last year, it's really been a joy to work with so many departments as we've been building sports visitation and entertainment and the brands you see on the screen there. We've really had to rely on what you're going to hear a lot in this is Team Chesterfield. Do I see Dave, Teresa, Constituent and Media Services, to Garrett and Jake and the team in Economic Development, to Miss Kim Conley and Emily prior to, and Community Engagement and Resources, and then Mr. Neil Luther over there in Parks and Recreation. We could not have done what we've done this year without Neil and his team and the support that they have given us. So Neil, thank you for all of your efforts and friendship and mentorship throughout this process. I also want to thank you all. I think it's been great to have a voice to bring all of us to a better understanding of how we diversify our economy through visitation. We're going to use that word visitation quite often today. What I want today to be about is the stories. You see in front of you a couple of the different reports. Liz does a great job monthly of, we send out this monthly report that really kind of dives into, it's always delayed by a couple of months, but the data behind what a given month in the visitation space has been, but then also our annual report here. So what I want today to be about is the stories, and the stories that are growing our quality of life, diversifying our economy, and making this a great place to live, work, play, and stay. You see that on the screen here. I want to start with this slide. And over the last year, the experiential factor of Chesterfield has come up a lot. Today's presentation is about a roadmap to how we live, to how we work, to how we play, to how we stay. But what you're going to see throughout this presentation, I think is a word that stood out to me in preparing this, was the word identity. Our brand, our identity. With all of these partners, the aforementioned partners with Parks and Recreation, Dave and Teresa's team, we are establishing a brand and identity that make people not just want to visit Chesterfield, but it's for our residents first and foremost. So that identity is what we're going to hear a lot about today. What in the first year I have been most reassured about is there's only one way to do this visitation effort. That visitation effort is not about necessarily the people outside of our boundaries. It's about building our community first. When you do all of this with your community in mind, you build yourself as a destination. That's when people want to come across your border for restaurant week, or just any, our identities, outdoor recreation, food and beverage, all of these things that make people come to Chesterfield. It's when we've created a community that is passionate about the place they live. So over the last year, the mission statement, which is kind of what you see at the top there, that was probably the easiest thing we've had to do all year, was craft that mission statement. That mission statement created itself. It's to enhance the quality of life for our citizens and diversify the economy through first choice events, experiences, and storytelling. Now, we've used that word visitation a lot, and I want to call that out for a second. Oftentimes, you've heard the word tourism. Tourism is absolutely a part of that. In this kind of space that we work in, and I've been blessed to be a part of for my career, tourism has some defined parameters that, personally, I don't pay attention to. Tourism means someone coming from 51 miles away or greater to visit Chesterfield. Yes, that is hugely important for our hotel economy, our food and beverage economy, but that word visitation is what I want us to, again, focus on. That word visitation, to come here, to live, work, play, and stay, and spend money. Whether you're 2 miles outside of the county, 10 miles outside of the county, or first and foremost within our boundaries. So again, I think we do that through these three principles as outlined in conjunction with our blueprint. Our vibrant economy is diversified through visitor spending. As a thriving community, it's a thriving community when we are helping create a better quality of life. And then it's our job to do it, to be excellent in public service when we're creating that community pride and that identity that I really think has been bought into at all layers of our hierarchy. Rather than go through all the different stories, this is a 2-minute video that Dave and Teresa's team and the video team with the two mats put together, and I think it does a much, much better job than me sitting up here giving you those stories one by one. So enjoy this video.
In Chesterfield, Virginia, tourism is big business. In fact, visitors strengthen our local economy through close to $1 billion in spending each year. Tourism not only saves our residents significant money, but it also provides thousands of jobs in our vibrant hospitality community. Making Chesterfield, Virginia a first-choice destination didn't happen overnight. Yay! As a hospitality community, Chesterfield has it all. From elite restaurants, wineries, and breweries, to an abundance of hotels and overnight accommodations, to attractions and recreation destinations like Henricus Historical Park, the Metro Richmond Zoo, or the largest state park in Virginia, Pocahontas State Park. And then there's the sports tourism, which is a big deal here in Chesterfield. We're a national leader in athletic facilities like River City Sportsplex, the Diamonds at Iron Bridge, and Swim RVA, which provide first-class facilities for our residents and host sporting events that pump millions of dollars into our economy. It's also a home team advantage for our local leagues, teams, and athletes. The story of tourism in Chesterfield is great and getting even better. This year, the county launched several new initiatives to spotlight our community and all it has to offer. Play Chesterfield shines a national spotlight on our sports tourism facilities, highlighting athletes and teams from right here at home. In fact, the Chesterfield Sports Hall of Fame was created to not only celebrate our history, but to inspire the next generation of local athletes to get out and play on these same fields. Through the relaunch of Experience Chesterfield, we're showcasing our community as a destination and promoting our rich history and the hidden gems that can be found here. As part of Experience Chesterfield, you've seen initiatives like the Chesterfield Restaurant Week and the Chesterfield Outdoor Fest, budding annual events that have already drawn rave reviews. We've even turned a decommissioned ambulance into a mobile information resource vehicle, better known as MERV, to bring information even deeper into the community. So, keep inviting your friends and family here, because the impact of tourism is real and growing larger every day. Around here, you're always close to something special. Chesterfield, Virginia, where people live and play. Experience it all. Experience Chesterfield.
I love Brad as the voice of Chesterfield in those videos. I think it's appropriate to call it in that video, and I think it's something all five of you, Dr. Casey, Mr. Harris, my team, Mr. Minks, we're all extremely proud of, is the model we've built this department and everything you see in those videos on. The excess lodging tax that we get back, everything we do to promote Chesterfield as a great place to live, work, play, and stay is funded through that visitor tax. And it's important for us. We get to do all of that and in return, take those legally restricted dollars and put it right back into it for our citizens first and to create Chesterfield as a great destination. Similar to those three core principles that kind of outlined with the blueprint, we've really narrowed down to everything we focus on in three strategic priorities. The first strategic priority is as simple as saying experience Chesterfield and all that falls under it. But priority number one is really cumbersome for us, and it's a big task that my team has been up to all year, to partner with external organizations and businesses, county departments, and residents to enhance Chesterfield's brand and identity through storytelling of its rich history, vibrant community, and unforgettable experiences. We'll start with this realm of Experience Chesterfield, and Brad outlined it well in that video. We were blessed to have all of you a part of these three major events: the Sports Hall of Fame led by Mr. Matt Mullen, Chesterfield Outdoor Fest, which was a joint effort with Parks and Recreation and the Chase team, and the leadership of Miss Katie Hardell with Chesterfield Restaurant Week. But all those were brought to life by Liz and her marketing skills. And those three things alone, in partnership with everything everybody is doing countywide, has helped create an identity around Experience Chesterfield. The next layer of Experience Chesterfield is storytelling. And our mission to storytell, again, falls in line with everything you've heard. Start with telling our story to our residents first. When we tell our residents what's in their own backyard, it goes back to that destination factor. You're creating a place we're proud to live in, and it creates a destination that people want to come to. Liz has been really a hard task to restart a brand, if you want to say that, with Experience Chesterfield. The results, you see it in the annual report, are incredible. Every week, I think you all get them straight to your inbox now, thanks to IST's support with the Gov delivery. You're getting those things to do, places to eat, all the great events that happen in Chesterfield, but it's brought to life socially. That's where we can really make that difference. We do blog work in partnership with constituent and media services, but multiple times a month, Liz is outlining for us. You see there kind of that fall time frame of uncharted Chesterfield and things to do. But that's an initiative, again, for our residents first. Bingo was a huge success. I think it's my favorite picture, I couldn't pull it up for this, was the Police Athletic League taking all the students this summer to complete their Chesterfield bingo. But again, bringing how you experience Chesterfield to life day in and day out through this platform. I always need a slide to make me pause and remember one very, very important thing, and it's this slide right here. I think you all remember in my presentation last year, I talked about how the visitor knows no boundaries. When a visitor is coming from Richmond International Airport, they don't know what county they land in. They don't know what county they're going to next. And so it's our job in all of this to, as Mr. Miller's taking that picture, I sure hope that QR code's working. But it's really important for us to enhance our marketing to the built-in visitor. I emailed you once this year with one of Liz's efforts, which we've been geo-targeting over top of our sports tournaments to make sure, again, when people are here, their money's staying in Chesterfield. That's a big part of what we do. With the budget of what Visitation Entertainment is built upon, one day we'll be there, but our focus right now is for our residents, that built-in visitor when people come here for a reason, and then really trying to expand our drive radius as we begin to grow this initiative. So I just want to make sure we called that out. Priority number 2 is pretty simple: play Chesterfield. In partnership with Neil's team, we're building an unprecedented model of how we do this in the community. We've done a lot of storytelling with you as a board of, how we do that storytelling, how these venues are funded. The data's in there. The growth is unreal. Katie and Matt have grown our sports events, nearly 100%. The impact is unbelievable for our business community. But take all that aside, I want to look at those two statistics you see right there under the 235,000 spectators that came because of these events. We still, tournaments bring people to visit Chesterfield, but 42% of the people that were part of these were local attendees. I can't pinpoint that they were exactly Chesterfield residents with the data, but regardless, they are tied somehow to this community, playing in that Joe and I started this home field advantage term, and it's really stuck. It is for our residents, and it's funded by the visitor. But then you look at that tourism facility usage and that local facility usage, again, same model, still majority used by our resident groups. Neil and the athletics team do a tremendous job with our co-sponsor groups. And I remind you, by funding these facilities, our co-sponsor groups are largely getting our facilities for free. That does not happen anywhere else. So it's an unprecedented model. Mr. Harris, I'm extremely grateful for your support, and Neil, with how we've built this. I'll be at VACO. I think Mr. Miller, Ms. Schneider, you'll be there as well. It's a model people are asking questions about. Pulaski County has, we've kind of been mentoring them on how they get this up and going. Again, it is a model you do not find anywhere else, and for that, I'm grateful for your support. I've talked a lot about that Chesterfield way in sports. In starting this and in partnership, Katie, Matt, Neil's team, we've had to dial back some events. You see, the growth to 160 events, but that doesn't mean these events are doing it the Chesterfield way. So we've really honed in on what that Chesterfield way is. It has a lot to do with that home field advantage. The Destinations International model is the average visitor spends $208 per person per day when they travel. If our residents have to travel somewhere else, that's a big cost. So again, the Chesterfield way is very important for us. Diamond sports, we've talked a lot about. It was that low-hanging fruit. Mr. Holland, you've seen it firsthand. It's a county-wide asset, but right there with the Diamonds at Ironbridge. But it also comes down to a visitor experience and customer service factor. We've had to, in partnership with Neil and the athletics crew, create a culture. I think my favorite part of this last year has been the athletics crew at the Diamonds at Ironbridge. They've bought into what that complex means. Doug Hawthorne's out there, and they're out there in midnight. When I say opening up the field, that's the term to spike it and get it ready to drain. They take pride in how they're doing with that. We've also done some studies this past year. Mr. Mullen led a study with the River City attendees. We wanted to make sure we were kind of taking their feedback to heart and what needs to be out there. We have a tremendous county-wide, destination complex-wide signage plan forthcoming, again, to make sure the resident knows they're in Chesterfield, Virginia, and they can experience Chesterfield, Virginia while they're here, amongst a bunch of other amenities. High-profile events. You've heard us talk. Thank you for that voice throughout the year. We have a ton of new events upcoming. We've hosted many new events. The hurricane threw a wrench in our first ever collegiate triathlon here in Chesterfield. But there are more events, high-profile events coming. Mr. Mullen today just emailed us. We were just awarded a softball national championship with 80 teams next summer at the Diamonds at Ironbridge. Again, we're investing in the ROI is massive. That local partnership's up there. It's kind of twofold in this vein. We want to partner locally to do things like you see in the middle at the bottom there, a partnership with the Metro Richmond Zoo. So when Copa Talento is in town, trying to make sure they visited a huge attraction throughout the county. Upcoming Thanksgiving weekend, the story of the Shooting Star Field Hockey Tournament, 10,000 people here in town. Well, guess what? They need to celebrate Thanksgiving too. And Uptown Alley has created things like that to make sure they have those opportunities. But again, that Chesterfield way, dialing back some events, I think one of the fun things you see in the top right there, we're not just going to take an open weekend and give it to a small tournament that may make an ROI. We're going to partner with a local organization like CQL and host the first Play Chesterfield CQL Jamboree this past August. Matt worked with Havoc, a local lacrosse group, to host a one-day event. So again, a very purposeful and intentional way of doing these things in Chesterfield. We're also telling stories through Play Chesterfield. This is, I think, definitely been one of our favorite things this year is partnering Dr. Murray, Dr. Phillips. We talked about this for 6 or 7 months. How can we, in the world of kind of lack of news and lack of sports coverage, we partnered with MP on the Mic on Odyssey to make sure every week a high school is telling its story on the radio. You get them from me every Wednesday. But I was a little nervous of Director of Student Activities having to corral students and coaches. It's been an overwhelming success each week. The students get excited. So again, just something that we're doing in this cost center to make sure our local stories are getting told. I was going to have Mr. Howell up here with me from the Richmond Strikers. He called me on his way here, and unfortunately his dog had just passed away while he was on his way here. I have two very, very short videos that I think are impactful for you to see. One is an out-of-town, and one is an event organizer.
Hello, Chesterfield County Board of Supervisors. My name is Darwin Murillo. I'm one of the co-founders of Copa Talento. I wanted to express my gratitude. It has been a great honor to partner with River City and Chesterfield County. From the first conversation I had with J.C. Poma, Matt Mullen, Danny Bonifaz, I knew that River City and Chesterfield County were going to be the perfect fit for Copa Talento. In our first year hosting our tournaments at River City, we grew from 110 to 250 teams. This was hugely in part thanks to the commitment that JC and his team have made to Copa Talento and to the community. We look forward to hosting many more tournaments. Thank you so much.
I think what we really enjoy most about that was a very intentional effort to grow soccer within our community. It was really the entire team, but Mr. Mullen worked extremely hard throughout the year on that event to make sure that event had success. This next one is really cool story. Head coach at Randolph-Macon men's soccer who uses our facilities recreationally. And I think what's really cool about that is Matt's 7 Chesterfield athletes on scholarship on his team because in his mind, we have River City Sportsplex.
What's up, everybody? Josh Lux, head men's soccer coach, Randolph-Macon College. I just wanted to give a shout out to Chesterfield County Sports Visitation Entertainment Division, as well as Parks and Rec, and in particular, all the work that they're doing over there at the River City Sports Complex. It's been a gem for us from a recruiting standpoint, but also a great place for me personally to go get my workouts in as a Chesterfield County resident. It's great to be over there and see all the different athletes in different sports, the kids working on their craft and kind of getting after it. Been a great place for our family. It's been a great place for me from a job standpoint and recruiting. And just wanted to give a shout out to those two divisions in particular. Keep up the good work.
I think that's a really cool and impactful video that we need to take a second and really let sink in. Just a couple days ago in BizSense, you saw the local story of the Soccer Post, which is a sports kind of apparel store that's moving from Commonwealth Center to the lake. I was able to talk to Sean on Monday of this week. And again, we see the impact that maybe our restaurants have or our hotels have, or the impact it may have on recruiting or our co-sponsor groups. But there are businesses moving here because of what River City is. And that's the same thing. You know, we look on the data we share, there's sheets or something popping up near a sports facility for a very reason. People are visiting Chesterfield and our residents are using all of these amenities nearby our sports complexes. The third priority, really of all the credit here to Neil and his team, is our venue development. But where I think we've excelled, again, is that identity. When we created the Diamonds at Ironbridge, and I cannot imagine the strings that Vince and Neil and his team had to pull to get that facility from what it was in 9 months' time to host that tournament in June. But at the same time, we rebranded River City Sportsplex. Again, it's an identity throughout Chesterfield with future destination complexes, with future parks. Creating and maintaining that identity is really, really important. And we'll talk about some more of those upcoming projects here in a second. But on the facility development front, we had a consultant sitting here a year ago today with us, and he used the word, Chesterfield has great bones. Well, look what Diamonds at Ironbridge is already becoming. River City Sportsplex is expanding. The concert venue is down. The park will be created to bring even more parts of our community out to River City to experience what that has to offer. Customer service, I should have said this a little while ago, that visitor experience survey, working with risk management, working with IST to make sure we're doing things the right way. This is just one little example, an event operations guide. so that people know, whether it's tents, tables, chairs, stages, AV equipment, walkie-talkies, gaming trucks, all of our food and beverage vendors that are permitted with the county and evolving and getting permitted. Again, we've created with Neil's team and his crew a customer service that's nowhere else. And I think in general, what you're going to see is a lot of updates that make our facilities pop. When our residents are happy to play on those fields, again, they create a great place for our visitors to come play. We're not done. I want to read to make sure I don't mess up these lines, but kind of with your direction and the leadership of so many departments, we want to start implementing some specific storytelling campaigns. I just love this tagline that we're working on and will launch in Q1 of 2025. History happened here, but we don't tell that story cohesively. And so we're going to implement kind of a full-scale campaign to tell that story. And it's twofold: to position Chesterfield as Virginia's most consequential county to shape American history and innovation, and to create community pride about the impact Chesterfield had in America's early days and today. And again, that's what we're doing. This is, our residents know of different assets. Maybe it's through a park they visit, but all of this history is very impactful, and it has not just a resident component, but a visitation component to it as well. Two of the most successful events we've had are back, along with the Hall of Fame as well. We're pleased today to announce in partnership with Teresa and Dave's department that Chesterfield Restaurant Week is back April 4th to April 13th. And I think the theme for this year is to enhance it. We did that the Chesterfield way. We listened to our restaurants, no buy-ins, no minimums, all these things that help the restaurants. Ms. Schneider has been really helpful in guiding us with that. It's back. We're going to expand it to include bakeries, coffee shops, ice cream shops, food and beverage community, all these things. It's not just a restaurant week. I think Liz asked me, maybe we need to change the name at some point. Well, Restaurant Week has an identity, but we're going to make it, again, our own Chesterfield identity. Chesterfield Outdoor Fest has really evolved. The Community Engagement Department is going to continue to handle the Earth Day, but we're really going to move that Outdoor Fest in partnership with Neil's team to kick off the summer, May 31st, 2025, and morph that into an identity of our outdoor recreation community and for all the things that our residents can do throughout the summer and beyond while they're here, and we look forward to the growth of that event. Kind of wrapping up here, we do have some opportunities in front of us in 2025. I mentioned in the beginning, we've really had to rely on, a lot of different departments and external partners to get these up and going. And in the vein of being the most fiscally responsible department we can with this fund is kind of right-sizing those outputs and making our team has the capabilities to continue to serve this county day in and day out. And we'll kind of come to you at that year-end process to describe kind of the ins and outs of that fund with Mr. Harris. In partnership with Parks and Rec, IST, so many others, I think this is something you all know about, but we're all really passionate about, is that customer service experience, whether it's permitting an external event that may use a parking lot at Chesterfield Town Center or a concert or anything like that, as well as the permitting structure for all the events that Parks and Rec hosts, Mr. Mullen and Ms. Hardell host, is working through a county-wide portal to make sure we're having the best customer service experience possible. We've got the Diamonds at Ironbridge Stadium component started. We've got the River City Sportsplex. We have 4 fields opening for the Shooting Star Tournament here in a couple weeks. We start the park. We're looking at some other amenities. This year we also have Rockwood Park. It's the 50th anniversary of Rockwood Park, which is awesome. There are some funds now to kind of take those 7 baseball fields and in that same vein, just like the Diamonds at Ironbridge, make them a baseball destination. We have so many local partners that operate out of there, and just seeing what those softball fields have done for our grassroots community, we have some additional funds that we can really make that facility pop and turn it into a great complex, and at the same time come to you with a couple more opportunities to really turn that into something we're proud of and restore it in the 50th year to what it was for many, many years. Miss Hardell and Miss Hart, along with Teresa's department, are launching the Chesterfield Hidden Gems series, kind of a monthly feature of hidden gems throughout the county. We have, I know everyone's been anxiously awaiting, Cole the Raccoon will be debuted at the State of the County, our county mascot as determined by the citizens of this county. I'm going to plan going forward for that mascot to really be in and out of the community. That identity that I think a lot of us have really enjoyed building. Mr. Mullen has been working with a vendor, and it's in procurement now, to create a Chesterfield online store for people to purchase. I mean, it can even be down to the level of when someone's at River City Sportsplex and love that they were here and a tournament doesn't have a tournament logoed sweatshirt, having a River City Sportsplex sweatshirt on there. And finally, this is something that's really going to take us to the next level for our community, is a visitor guide. Teresa and Liz and her department, Ariana, have worked extremely hard in gathering content, creating advertisements, but launching in January will be the first ever Chesterfield visitor guide. Again, sometimes, just like Restaurant Week, there's brands and people know what a visitor guide means, but it's for our residents first, but something our visitors can use as well. So kind of in closing, we have so many partners internally and externally that help us do what we do, and that opening letter in the annual report kind of closed with a line on behalf of Joe and myself. And I think what excites us the most is there's always more to explore in Chesterfield, and that's what this team's built. That's what all of our partner departments are building, and we're excited to do that in conjunction with your direction. So thank you for allowing this annual update, and with that, I will take any questions.
Supervisors, any comments or questions now? Yeah.
I just wanted to appreciate your leadership. It's just so exciting what we're doing and just building the brand. And, it's hard to launch a new program. And here you are, and here we are. And you can already see that you certainly hit the ground running, and we're doing it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else, please? Snyder.
So it's been fun being part of, this with Copa Talento. And I know that I was talking with the brothers when they were there, and they were just like, well, we're thinking about maybe going to Hampton Roads. And so I'm glad to hear that you've secured that, and they're going to continue to come back here. So that's awesome. I know I think it might have been at Outdoor Fest, there was the cool maps that they had on the MRV. I love those with the QR codes. I give them to people all the time. I think those are really helpful to get information about all the parks and where they are. It has a map of the county and shows all the highlights. So I think that's probably kind of what you're talking about with the visitor's guide, kind
Yep.
of just more enhancement of that. So.
Think about it as a magazine that
Yeah,
tells
okay.
a lot of different stories.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'll start making a list of restaurants and such.
Katie can use that.
All right, thank you, Supervisor. Any other comments?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you for the hard work.
Carol.
I think it's important for the community to get these type of updates and understand what's actually happening in the background. And I'm hoping that people will take the time to listen and look at the information you presented today. This is, people don't realize that, there are other communities throughout the country that are trying to duplicate what we do here. And quite frankly, to take away from the opportunity we're presenting by bringing it to their community. And when someone comes to your community and stays here and spends money, then they're taking wealth that they could be spending somewhere else, and they're investing it in our community. And we're making sure that they can have a good time in the process of doing that. But we should also be very appreciative to those people who are coming here, and still providing a great opportunity for our own people who live here to have a great facilities for their kids. We have a tremendous amount of local athletic leagues that participate. And so this helps us to be able to provide those resources for them as well, and expand resources like we did with the Diamond. And so I'm hoping the community will take the time to take a look at this and understand that this is, it's a really great thing that we're doing helps to support their community by bringing other people in to spend their money here, quite frankly, and also provide facilities for the kids and families who are here, who want to live, work, and play here in Chesterfield. So thank you for your team and the hard work that you're all doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other Supervisor Engel.
I appreciate your comments, everything that y'all are doing, but appreciate your comments as well with the fact that the hotel tax is what's actually paying for the majority of these items. Many of our citizens think that it's general budget dollars that are going into it, and it's really not. Very few places have parks that bring a return back to the citizens. And that's what we're doing here, and we're using the initial investment from the hotel tax that those people that are staying in the hotels are also bringing to the jurisdiction. So it's a win-win for our citizens, and it's a win-win for our visitors because they get a great experience with what we're providing. So thank you for your work, and thank you for those comments.
Mr. Chair, just one last comment, that
Yes.
because of this, our hotels in Chesterfield County are doing very well, and it's actually encouraged some of our hoteliers to invest in more hotels here in Chesterfield County. Because quite frankly, we were at a deficit in comparison to Henrico and Richmond for years. And so having those investments here, it's not just about the sports tourism, but if people come in town, they go, where can I stay? Now they have more options. And so all of this works together, and I hope people understand that.
Thank you, Supervisor. Other
Mr. Hahn,
comments?
can I clarify, can I add to
You
that
can
one
add it.
comment?
Yes, you can.
In this last update email to Mr. Carroll's point, the data we provide each month, I kind of geek out over that data, and I noticed a blip in one area. And I think, when you talk about Jake and Garrett and that team, the blip was I think it was 15% raise in long-term occupancy. And when you think about that, there are so many sectors, like you said, that we don't think about. We just talked about events, but there's construction workers here for all the investment that Garrett and his team are making. And right now we have 1,700 hotel rooms in process. That doesn't mean in construction, in process. I think right now it's 3 hotels, and I don't know the number of rooms in construction, but 1,700 hotel rooms in process. That's because of everything all of us are doing in the demand for them.
Thank you. Dr. Casey or Mr. Engel? Mr. Engel, you have a comment? You all right? Okay, good.
Just to keep the theme going, and thank you for the conversation about the new hotels, and
Yes.
just to show you the intentionality we have that I've never done before, but I think Mr. Poma and Mr. Harris and I are actually working together with financing institutions directly on behalf of the hotel industry, because the hotels themselves are challenged in trying to get financing because they don't understand everything you just saw here. They've seen the growth in the hotels and they think there should be an absorption rate. Well, with the occupancy rates far above 70%, it's a very high metric, and all the demands we're bringing here, we're going to sit side by side with our hotel owners. Many of them are already existing hotel owners, as they look to expand side by side with these financing institutions, and only tell them the facts. And hopefully the facts will sell themselves so they can get the financing to go beyond the 3 that are under construction, that have already been approved by the board.
Thank you, Dr. Casey. JC, outstanding job, building the brand, outstanding work. I mean, you set a model up that men would like to emulate throughout the country, and I applaud you for your efforts. And of course, I'm looking forward to seeing Cole the raccoon at the end of the year, our icon. And one thing I want to make sure that we're reaching out to the military base, Fort Gregg Adams, to make sure they are included in a lot of our events. We talked to them about swimmer RVA and swimming. And so just about a week or so ago, the colonel at the base. So make sure that we're reaching out to them. But continued great job, outstanding.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.